As the Israel-Hamas conflict continues, 3 Latin American countries are sufficiently concerned about the impact on Palestinian civilians to take action. Bolivia announced it is cutting diplomatic ties with Israel, accusing the country of committing crimes against humanity in its attacks on the Gaza Strip. Deputy Foreign Minister Freddy Mamani explained at a news conference on October 31st.
The determination is to break diplomatic relations with the State of Israel in repudiation and condemnation of the aggressive and disproportionate Israeli military offensive being carried out in the Gaza Strip and the threat to international peace and security.
During the news conference, Interim Foreign Minister Maria Nela Prada conveyed that President Luis Arce had met with the Palestinian ambassador to Bolivia and had expressed solidarity with the suffering of the Palestinians. This is the second time Bolivia has severed diplomatic ties with Israel. Former President Evo Morales took a similar stance in 2009, also in protest of Israel's actions in Gaza. Relations resumed in 2020. Meanwhile, Chile and Colombia have recalled their ambassadors to Israel for consultations. The presidents of both countries discussed their concerns with U.S. President Joe Biden during the America's Partnership for Economic Prosperity Summit in Washington on Friday. Following a meeting with Biden at the White House, Chile's President Gabriel Boric condemned military operations that have resulted in civilian casualties in Gaza.
Más de 8,000 muertos después.
There have been more than 8,000 deaths since the start of Israel's attacks on Gaza. We can say without a doubt that the response has been disproportionate and violates international humanitarian law. What's happening in the Gaza Strip is simply unacceptable. I want to be clear. As President of Chile, I condemn in the strongest and most categorical manner the terrorist attacks by Hamas. We demand the release of the hostages, but we do not accept being pushed to choose between one side or the other. We choose humanity.
Colombia President Gustavo Petro emphasized that resorting to killing people as a means to combat terrorism always fails.
I told President Biden that the massacre in Palestine could no longer be allowed to continue. The breakdown of international law that we are seeing today produces more violence, more barbarism, and destruction of democracy.
Political analyst Manuel Rairan believes other governments may follow Bolivia, Chile, and Colombia.
With these actions, Latin American countries are setting an example for other countries to do so as well.
Argentina and Peru have joined in condemning the attacks on Gaza, while Mexico and Brazil have called for a ceasefire. Responding to the recall of the ambassadors, Israel urged Colombia and Chile to explicitly condemn the Hamas terrorist organization, according to the Associated Press. A statement from Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs urged the two countries to support the right of a democratic country to protect its citizens and to call for the immediate release of all abductees and not align themselves with Venezuela and Iran in support of Hamas terrorism. Veronica Villafañe for VOA News.